Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show, Monday, December 22nd. I'm Patrick Daugherty, joined by Denny Carter. Only 10 days to go until the year 2026, a real year that exists. It's not just a sci-fi year. Denny, was not a sci-fi week 16 in the NFL world. There were some good games, a lot of really, really bad games. A lot of people coming into your lives, men with names like Chris Oladokun. That's an unusual name than a very common name of Josh Johnson is still around, 39, on his 39th NFL team, actually. He played on like the Akron Zips, the Dayton Dogs.
He played for the Chicago Cardinals.
Yeah, the Yorktown Unionists, the Chicago Cardinals. Yes, that was his first big break, actually.
We remember that. Oh, by the way, look, I know my dad is not like the most tuned in football guy, but he sees Josh Johnson playing for the Commanders the other night, and he goes, oh, man, I bet this kid is in over his head. This guy's been in the league for almost 20 years. Yeah. He's played for more teams than any player in history. He was like, has he ever started a game? I said, he started a lot. Have you not heard of Josh Johnson?
It's because his name is too common. That's why your dad has not heard of him. He played for Jim Harbaugh 5 scandals ago. So a lot of bad football, but still a lot of interesting storylines. Some of it bad. Like, was that the end of the Ravens as we know it on Sunday night? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Quinshon Judkins' season ending. We'll talk about TreVeyon Henderson being concussed just in time for the fantasy playoffs. Unbelievable. Then we'll preview a Christmas Day slate. It's losing a little bit of juice, just a little bit. Aforementioned Josh Johnson hosting the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm sure we'll be trying really hard.
Yeah, the one thing we know about the Cowboys is they try.
The Cowboys, who in some of the biggest games of the year seem to not necessarily be trying. Very weird stuff. We'll break down Dallas at Washington, Detroit at Minnesota, where the Bras did nothing wrong. The Bras is back. The Bras is back. JJ McCarthy MRI like pending. We'll see what happens. But JJ McCarthy played with a hand injury. It wasn't broken. We'll see if 9 is out there on the 9th day of. We'll see if 9 plays on Christmas. Lions basically eliminated from playoff contention. So that game's lost some juice. And then, of course, Bo Nix at Kansas City. No one comes into Arrowhead and wins unless they're starting Chris Oladokun, which they are. And the line is 12.5. Still a lot of interesting storylines in all these games, though. But then one of the most interesting storylines of all of Week 16, Trevor Lawrence kind of making an end around on like dark horse MVP status. The Jaguars making an end around on maybe dark horse number 1 overall seed in the AFC status. That's probably unlikely. But so the Jags, they're hot right now. The Jags are in the news. The Jags are not in the news very often. And so that tends to have people forget that Jaguars fans are absolutely insane, like kind of scary on social media. Like back when like the Bortles days, if you said anything bad about the Jags, like
it was frightening. The
Big Cat Army would come after Big Cat Country, not Big Cat from that other media outlet, Big Cat Country, as it's known, Duval, as it's since been more commonly called. And so yesterday I got caught up. People may remember Alfie, one of the old stars of football Twitter, Alfie BCC, a Big Cat Country. Mm-hmm. I say this lovingly. He can be a kind of a petty guy. And he's going out and finding old tweets. Yeah, within 2 seconds, he found a super negative Trevor Lawrence tweet from Patrick Daugherty. And I got caught up in a retweet binge. And some of them were so funny. There was one of it was like Bo Nix on a throne, and it was Trevor Lawrence being forced to kneel before him. Wow. So many astonishingly bad Broncos fans.
Wait, was it like AI art? What was it?
I don't even know if it was AI. It looked more just like traditional Photoshop art.
That's funny.
Bo Nix looking like the MVP early was something else he retweeted in this one. Oh, man, he caught Adam Levitan, got caught up. Hayden got caught up. We all got caught up. Jags fans do this when they're good. And you notice that this kind of mentality, this kind of us against the world attitude is maybe rubbing off on some of the people in charge in Jacksonville. Tell us about it.
I think head coach Liam Coen is logged on, and he's perusing Duval Twitter.
He is.
Because yesterday in his post-game press conference after, they pretty easily beat the Broncos. Like, it really wasn't that close. And he says, look, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but like, we're just a small market team trying to compete with the big boys. Okay. And, he says it with a wink and a nod, being like, like, we're still going to kick your butt. I guess it's what we came in here to do. And then, so he comes into the Jaguars locker room, and I encourage folks to go look up this video because he bursts into the locker room. It's so loud that the video is actually like going in and out because the audio is being like blown out by the volume of the guys going nuts, right? And so he gives out game balls, Parker Washington, like clear wide receiver 1 now, and like the punter for some reason we love our punter, and he says, guys, look, we're just a small market team, but we're coming in here to compete with the big markets like Denver, and they all go nuts. So I think that this is a bulletin board situation. We're just Jacksonville. What are we going to do? We're just the itty bitty Jaguars. But these guys are out for blood, and I respect it.
So first off, I appreciate Liam Coen acknowledging the Jaguars should have never been awarded to Jacksonville, instead to a large market like St. Louis, who had a dome ready and the St. Louis Stallions branding ready. I appreciate that acknowledgement after 30 years that the Jags should have been the St. Louis Stallions. Google it if you do not know what I'm talking about. And Liam Coen, yeah. So I'm in to like evil genius Ben Johnson. I'm also in, I say this word, sleaze is too strong, but he's like more unkempt Ben Johnson, Liam Coen. Like Liam Coen, first of all, he's the classic coach. He's never shaved, like ever. Like it always looks like he just shaved 12 hours ago. Yeah. He's like the wolf man 12 hours later.
He has a strong beard.
He has a strong beard. It always looks like he's just come in from like a deep sea fishing boat on the Gulf of Mexico. Jacksonville's on the ocean side of the Florida Panhandle, but it somehow looks like Liam Coen has just always been out in the Gulf of Mexico for 11 hours.
Wow. That's unbelievably accurate. I'm imagining him right now wrestling a large fish.
Yeah, and he's always got a visor, and he's just got, kind of like a seedy vibe to him. Like even the way he took the job, just like ignoring his old employer. I know. I always compared it to, it was like he was climbing out the bathroom window, leaving Tampa Bay, like, yeah, no, I'll be right back. And like, how do you unlock these 60s windows? And you hear him kicking something, like, what's going on here? Hope Liam Coen's all right.
Oh, man.
And next thing you know, he's in Duval. And very, very interesting storyline. The Trevor Lawrence, man.
He's cooking. The confidence, I covered this game, the Jaguars Broncos. The confidence is very clear. He understands. It took him a while, but I think that he is fully integrated with the system, and he knows where the ball is supposed to go at all times. He's never been a great clean pocket passer, but now he is, and that's a huge difference because that line keeps him. I mean, they're not the best, but they do keep him relatively clean and upright.
This looks like a team coming together. Final, I'm still on Alfie's Twitter. The tweet that was retweeted right by mine was from Mile High Report, the SB Nation outlet for the Broncos, and it just said Jaguars learning early. They're not playing the Jets, Titans, or Cardinals defenses. As you said, the game went on to not even be remotely close. So.
And the Jaguars, they made the Broncos defense look ordinary. I mean, like truly, that Broncos defense had no answers. They were missing tackles. And I was looking at this before the show. They're one of the best tackling teams in I was going to say in the country, in the league. And yesterday, just multiple big plays where they're missing tackles, especially against Parker Washington, who's unstoppable right now.
Parker Washington is absolutely unstoppable. So I would tell Jaguars fans to enjoy this, but we already know that they are doing that.
The enjoyment is happening.
It is happening and will probably continue to happen. Fascinating story down the stretch this season. The Jags, whenever a team's rising, by definition, someone else is probably falling. So the Jags have not been part of the hierarchy atop the AFC for a while. The Ravens have been, but nothing has been going right this season, Denny. But extended to Sunday evening. All last week, I was ranting, how are the Ravens favored? How are the Ravens favored? And, they come out And I was like, oh, okay, that's why they're favored. Oh my God. Like, how does this always happen to me?
And that Kia Sportsbook was going to take your money. Oh,
they were taking my shirt. Boy, were they. It was looking bad. But as so often happens to the Ravens of late, things fell apart. As so often happened, Lamar Jackson got hurt, bruised back, doesn't finish the game. The vibes are just like radioactive level bad.
Yeah.
As so often happens, Mark Andrews makes like the worst play I've ever seen on the football field. Like, what is up with this guy?
Truly, if folks didn't see it, he tried to lateral it while being tackled by two guys, and I mean, just like flung it. It reminded me of what Josh Allen did in that playoff game against the Texans many years ago.
Oh yes, the 2019-20 season. I don't know why I remember that year. Was quite something. So that was kind of like what rock bottom looked like for the Ravens last night. It was against a good team, but that's what rock bottom looks like. The season's mostly over. They have to win out, and the Steelers would have to lose out. That's unlikely. There's all kinds of rumors about discord between Lamar and John Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Was that the end of the Ravens as we know it? Or is it just a bad year? Like the Chiefs having a bad year. Even really good teams, like the Eagles had a horrific year 2 years ago, came back and won the Super Bowl the next year. End of the Ravens as we know it, or is there still hope in this dynasty, in this franchise?
I mean, is it a dynasty? I don't know.
As close as you can get in modern sports, kind of. Not dynasty. Obviously not a dynasty.
It's as close as you could get in modern sports without winning anything.
Yeah. True. Okay, yes.
Never having won a single big game.
Not a single game of import, no.
No. Every single important game Lamar Jackson's been in, he's lost easily. But the pass game has collapsed, and I have some stats to illustrate this. The Ravens ranked 26th in a metric from Pro Football Reference called expected points contributed. Okay, they rank 26th in expected points contributed via the pass game. That's right next to the Dolphins and Saints this year. I mean, what? Like compared to last year, the year before? I mean, it truly is something. They're 24th. Baltimore's 24th on the season in dropback EPA, below the likes of the Cardinals and the Panthers.
That's the St. Louis Cardinals, by the way. So that's really bad.
That's right. And the Chicago Cardinals are next. And I mean, the efficiency has just fallen off a cliff. I mean, you can make excuses, and I think folks will. Like, Lamar's constantly hurt, battling all sorts of injuries. They had Cooper Rush in for that one game, which was like one of the worst starts in recent memory. So, I mean, you can point to those things, but Lamar's passing game has fallen off a cliff, and it's really made it impossible for this team to compete against good teams. Really,
I'm constantly calling for coaches to be fired somehow, and firing John Harbaugh would probably be a real classic. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
but again, kind of just like Andy Reid and Philly vibes. Although it's only one truly down year, but the mojo needs to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, when so Ravens are on primetime every week, and so this year it's become a tradition, to tune into this primetime Ravens game, which they're always at home, and watch, and they have 14 home games, and watch the saddest crowd in history.
Man, what is the deal with that?
It's just a bleak situation. Even when the Ravens were doing well last night, the crowd seemed uneasy. Like
they did.
But maybe we'll just wait to get excited because we know how this goes. The vibes, like you said, radioactive, toxic, rancid, however you want to say it, it's real bad. That's the only reason I think Harbaugh could go. I mean, if I were the Ravens, I would keep him, talk to him about what needs to be done offensively. But there's a chance he's gone.
I think they need a coach at this point. How many years does the dual threat like Lamar have left? Like maybe 3 or 4 to like true prime, maybe not even that, since he's been starting to get banged up and had avoided these kind of injuries for so long. But I almost feel like they need a head coach who can be like Lamar's personal quarterback's coach at this point. With that kind of situation where this is not going anywhere. If Lamar is not going anywhere, Harbaugh is not even an offensive mind, let alone like the offensive coordinator. And there might be time, if you're trying to get like the last mileage out of this era of Ravens football, get him his own Liam Coen, get him his own Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Someone to be his offensive buddy.
Yes, that's actually that. I like that because I think Lamar could cook with a coach who, like, met with him face to face during the game. You don't see that. You
No,
don't see
I
that between
know.
Harbaugh and Lamar.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They need someone more connected with the franchise quarterback. Lamar and John Harbaugh don't really seem to have a relationship, like, period. And it's a problem for this.
It is. John Harbaugh's response to questions about Lamar Jackson's injury from Sunday night were a little cold.
They were a little cold, and I think, frankly, designed to get people questioning Lamar. Because he's like, oh, it sounds like a bruise. And what are fans going to think when they hear the quarterback's not playing with a bruise, And yeah, I did not think he handled that very well, John.
I mean, and then especially when you look at other elite quarterbacks, like Josh Allen a few weeks ago against the Texans, I thought he broke his arm on a fall to the turf, and he didn't even go to the blue tent.
No, he didn't. But I just mean, if Lamar said he couldn't play, then he couldn't play. Lamar the coach needed to better protect him, I feel like, than being like, it's a bruise. Because, I thought that was kind of dumb.
He did look upset.
He did. John needed it. Don't just say it's a bruise. Say the quarterback was hurt, I don't know. I thought that was weird. Everything is weird and bad with the 2025 Ravens, which I think they might need to make some changes. Fantasy Denny, Quinshon Judkins is done for the season.
Yeah.
He was a guy for a while who's kind of rising above his awful offensive environment. That never lasts, and had not been lasting for Quinshon. Really gruesome injury.
Yes.
But a shockingly short timeline for his broken leg, dislocated ankle, kind of injury where we've seen players come back and not be the same. But that's more like mid-season. He is now in a situation where he can probably start conditioning in earnest by like May or June. I think we'll probably be ready for training camp and probably like reasonably himself for next week 1. But that's about 2026. Do you have any worries about him for 2026? But in the short term, anyone you like in the Browns backfield for week 17, I guess that's basically asking you, do you think Dylan Sampson will come back and will you play him? But just the immediate and maybe potential long-term fallout from this injury.
I think, fantasy folks need to keep in mind that sometimes these catastrophic injuries, which it seems like that's the case here, they take a while. Like it takes sometimes a long time.
Pacheco, Tony Pollard, 2 recent examples that come to mind on this.
And even if they're going to be back, I wouldn't say, here's what, if Judkins is like, oh, he's going to play week 1 and he does play week 1, that doesn't mean he's back. That just means he's on the field. But
we saw that, truly, that was Tony Pollard to a T.
Yeah. And now look at Tony Pollard. He's Walter Payton 2.0.
I know. Yeah.
Well, it just took 3 years.
He wrecked the consolation bracket. Destroyed it. First of the final week of the regular season, he gets you the 7 seed. That's key. You get a bye.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and is wrecking the consolation bracket.
Yeah, no, your consolation buddies are just in shambles right now. So let's see. I'm looking at my binoculars.
Yep.
On Sunday, Raheem Sanders led the Cleveland backfield with 11 carries. With Judkins down, TreVeyon Williams ran the most routes out of the backfield and caught all 4 of his targets. Dylan Sampson was not active for that game. I'm guessing Dylan Sampson would be RB1 if he does play.
And Sampson, he's got a hand injury, which is both good and bad because he's not trying to get his calf or hamstring healthy. That's always very good. Hand is, of course, problematic for running back. But my guess, they didn't put him on injured reserve, so they weren't expecting a season-ending injury. Now that he's needed much more than he was in week 16, I get the feeling they might kind of push it with the hand injury, like give him, wear a cast or whatever. Sometimes running backs do wear like a soft cast. My initial lean is that Dylan Sampson will be out there for week 17.
Yeah, and this Cleveland offense, bottom 10 and pass rate over expected. They want to be conservative, keep it on the ground. I will say, as far as like running back targets go, I think we could see more of those in week 17, considering Shedeur Sanders averaged 1.9 air yards per attempt.
Rather stunning
on Sunday. 1.9, not 2, 1.9. So lots of targets for the short area guys. So if Dylan Sampson goes and is like a full go, he could be real interesting for PPR.
Speaking of quarterback injuries, by the way, like Shedeur pinky like mangled comes to mind. Whatever happened, and where he missed like 2 plays. So the stuff these guys are expected to do is insane. Our fantasy managers expected to play TreVeyon Henderson in Week 17 against the Jets. It's on Sunday. You have to specify the day this week. They're playing the Tuesday triple header is actually about to begin. But TreVeyon, not a good scene with a concussion on Sunday night. Ramondre performs well in his absence. Even if TreVeyon's back, like, is this gonna be a situation where he's like a clear 1B guy? Like, try to get some big plays out of him, but they have a lot to play for still. The Patriots at this point have one eye on the postseason. Mm-hmm. Would you trust TreVeyon Henderson in the fantasy finals if you survived him getting you essentially no points in the semifinals?
Yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is it's more complicated, as you might have guessed. So before Henderson left the game last night against Baltimore, Ramondre Stevenson was running more routes. Henderson had 5 carries to 3 carries for Stevenson before exiting the game. Basically, you have a split backfield in a way that you wouldn't expect it to be split. Stevenson is consistently running more routes than Henderson, and so that is a concern. But we're talking about the Jets. This Jets defense, and take it from someone who covered the Saints-Jets game. Man, that Saints offense looked like a machine against those guys. I mean, Tyler Shuck was it was like 7-on-7 flag football for that guy, right? I mean, just pelting targets like nobody around the pass catcher, right? It's good for everybody. If Henderson goes, you got to play him. You got to get him in your lineup, I think.
Denny, who is stopping this coach quarterback combination? Todd Bowles and Brady Cook. They've announced Brady Cook's going to be out there, by the way, against the Patriots on Sunday.
Aaron Glenn and Brady Cook. Yes, no, Aaron Glenn was calling timeouts yesterday in a way that made the announcers question him big time, saying, I'm not sure why he would call a timeout there, Joe, but he did. And Brady Cook would kind of look to the sideline like, wait, we're calling timeout right now? There's 5.5 minutes left. It was that coach quarterback combination doesn't seem to be clicking.
And does not. Thank you for correcting me on the coach's name. Good time to regroup. We will be right back after this. It's a battle of 2 teams dealing with QB injuries as they try to solidify their playoff status in Week 17. Watch the Packers face the Ravens in Baltimore in a Peacock exclusive on Saturday night, with coverage of the matchup beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Denny, it's the Cowboys, it's the Commanders. It's 50.5 game total. I guess that's good still on Christmas Day. It's not in a dome.
It's not.
I would say a lot going on here, except for not a lot going on here. The Cowboys formally eliminated. Has Javonte Williams been eliminated from the Cowboys offense? I thought the guy, it seemed like for a while he kind of needed to be phased out. It was more formally phased out on Sunday, not in favor of anything cool. Malik Davis getting more work for the Cowboys. But what do we think of Javonte Williams, and a guy who hasn't really been he's been hurting the cause, has not been helping the cause for a while. How do you feel about Javonte Williams for Week 17 in the fantasy finals?
Not good. I will say, just real quick before I get into the backfield usage from this previous week, I want to say I'm looking at my phone right now, and I live in the DMV, as the Zoomers call it. This game will be in Landover, Maryland. On Thursday, it's going to be 50 degrees and a little cloudy, so you don't have to worry about the weather, folks. Like for Christmas, if you're playing your Cowboys or Commanders or whatever you need to do on Christmas, just so you know. But yeah, Javonte Williams had 9 carries to 8 carries for Malik Davis. Davis ran 8 routes to 15 routes for Williams on Sunday. Javonte Williams hasn't been on the injury. I actually went and checked. I looked powerfully into this. Javonte Williams hasn't been on the injury report for at least 5 weeks. Okay.
Wow.
I looked powerfully, not that powerfully. I wasn't going to scroll back all the way. And so I sometimes see or hear suggestions. Oh, he's really gutting it out. He's struggling with it. I don't know what injury anybody's talking about right now. I just think he kind of ran out of juice at some point. Malik Davis, not like a lot better, but like more explosive at the moment. Now saying that, I don't know if I can recommend like playing Malik Davis this week, unless you're in a super giga deep league. But that's about it. You know, like a second flex, maybe in a 14-team league, something like that. Because really, I mean, the Cowboys should have lots of game script on their side. And if that's the case, Malik Davis could, see like 8 touches here or something like that.
Javonte, it's maybe just the case that this is the biggest workload he's ever had in his career. 239 carries. He did reach 217 2 years ago for the Broncos, but like this, the guy who's not used to being the guy.
No,
and I think he is wearing down.
Right,
and it's gonna be hard to probably truly bench him. I'll say in 12-team leagues, but
yeah, I mean, I should also say that the Washington,
yeah.
So this time of year is tough. I found this out the hard way yesterday in DFS lineups, but you have some teams not really trying anymore.
I would maybe there were a disturbing amount of teams.
I know. I'm not calling for a league investigation, but I'm just telling the fantasy folks out there, you gotta like pay attention to this stuff.
Well, too, you know what it is, like the 17th game, it's one game. It's just changed the calculus of like everything. This even one additional game in a sport this brutal has made it so hard to get through. It's made the sample size bigger by one game, so outcomes are just more clear a little earlier than they used to be. Like, were we a playoff team? Blah blah blah. And I think it is really hurting the end of season product. Or even before the 17th game, Of course, you had lots of teams mailing it in the final week, but the extra game has done like even more damage to the end of season product than some people feared. I
mean, look at what you have this week. You have Josh Johnson starting for the Commanders. You have the guy whose name I don't even remember starting for the Chiefs in
Chris
Travis
Oladokun. How can you not remember Chris Oladokun?
Preseason DFS sicko hero.
You think it's Kelsey's last game in Kansas City?
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's probably done.
He's done. He now says the Chiefs instead of us or we.
Wow.
So yeah, it's over.
I didn't notice that.
My dentist the other day asked me, she said, did anybody know who Travis Kelce was before he started dating Taylor Swift? Because she knows, what I do.
Yeah, of course.
For a living, which makes her different than most of my family, actually. But and I said yes. I said he was a Hall of Fame player before he started dating her. She, really? I said, well, yeah. I mean, he plays in the Midwest. Maybe that's why. But yeah, he was widely known. Yes,
he was widely known.
Anyway, what was I saying? Washington defense, total collapse mode. So getting back to Javonte, he could get there because he's playing against a bad defense that doesn't want to be around anymore.
No, yeah, they do not. And so that'll be interesting. I'll tell you what was getting too interesting was Ryan Flournoy behind CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And George Pickens. He was stealing targets. He was scoring touchdowns.
Yes.
He's unfortunately now suffered a knee injury. Was he actually becoming an issue for CeeDee and Pickens? And I'm assuming no hesitation firing up CeeDee and Pickens. I do get the feeling we're going to see like a really disinterested Cowboys team, but it's such a good matchup. It's hard to truly worry. Was he becoming an issue? And not that you were ever going to bench them, but how like meaningful was Flournoy's involvement becoming before the injury, and assuming he's out on Thursday?
We mentioned on Thursday's show last week, Flournoy was wide receiver 2 in both air yards and targets over the previous 2 games headed into week 16. And Pickens was distant on both of those metrics. So, he was a problem, and he's good. He's good, unfortunately.
I'm so devastated about this. Do you know what I'm just so devastated.
Hey, Pat, for the folks not keeping track of Pat's dynasty decisions at home, he dropped Flournoy 5 seconds before he broke out.
Well, I dropped him twice. I dropped him preseason, and I was hovering over him, like monitoring him super closely. Then he had a 100-yard game, immediately re-added him. Then he faded again. He's kind of old. But so, like, I love to take, like, most people in Dynasty, like, their 4th or 5th round rookie picks, like, whatever, just get them off the team. They don't care at all. I try to build from within from my Dynasty teams, and I hold on to these guys for a long time. And Flournoy, wow, that one is haunting me.
Yeah. I mean, he's good. If he ended up on like a team with some like targets available, I think that would be better for him.
Pickens is gonna probably be gone.
Really?
The Cowboys they have cap problems as always.
Wow, that would be something.
It would be something. I feel like he's the kind of guy you do not want to franchise tag. Like you're going to get a disaster class franchise tag season. And
right. Yeah, no, he would pull the ripcord.
He would.
Yeah. He would say, I ain't reading all this. Like you can find someone else.
Are we pulling the ripcord on all Commanders skill players with Josh Johnson under center for Christmas Day? We think. Let's be real. Marcus Mariota is not playing in this game, so let's just proceed as if Josh Johnson's going to be the quarterback.
We're gonna talk about both real quick. In the notes you said life under Josh Johnson. So here's what life is like under Josh Johnson: 5 for 9, 42 yards against the Eagles, 2.9 air yards per attempt. Here's the only person I would feel comfortable starting really is Chris Rodriguez. And maybe McNichols as like a short area pass catcher because he's still involved in the pass game. I don't think that you can in 12-team leagues. You're not starting Debo.
No. The Debo thing could not possibly be more over.
Yeah, I was watching that game with some Commanders fans, and they had some choice words about Debo. Not thrilled about that, and they said, "Oh, we're going to end up with Ayuk." And I actually think that's probably true.
That is just like startlingly true. Brandon Ayuk, like just get like you can pre-order your Ayuk Commanders jersey now.
That's right. Although someone's gonna have to take Ayuk's phone away from him if he's gonna sign with anybody. The young man, he's posting too much. Posters madness. Some are calling it. Anyway, yeah. So Rodriguez is interesting. I know we're gonna talk. You want me to talk about him real quick?
It would. Also, I should alert the listeners. Josh Johnson, listen, great career. I'm sure a great guy. Very old, very brittle. They have already signed Jeff Driscoll basically to be his backup. You could get some Driscoll ball in this game.
Now Driscoll's interesting.
Oh my God.
No. Not for any of these guys. But like if Driscoll got a start.
He's not going to get a start. But Josh Johnson will start the game. I'm just very worried about Josh Johnson immediately getting hurt.
Driscoll is like a guy who could run it like 20 times in this game if he started this game. But
some are calling him the actually good Riley Leonard.
Oh, come on. I just want to say real quick. If Marcus Mariota starts, Terry McLaurin's a smash. Mariota averaged 11 air yards per attempt before exiting against the Eagles, really pushing it downfield. Also, I got to say, Treylon Burks ran 85% of the routes and led the Commanders in air yards. I mean, every time I see Treylon Burks, he's like making a play. He's back.
No, he might be like a guy who's finally figured it out. And
I think so.
A guy just had a lot of bad luck. It'll be interesting to see if he can get any guaranteed money in free agency because that really is the bar. Not trying to damn with faint praise, but I feel like the bar for Treylon Burks is can he get like $1 million guaranteed in free agency? That would be a good sign for him.
Let's put it this way. I am interested where he goes, and I think in the right spot, he could get a real opportunity.
Never wrong, only early.
Yeah, well,
Treylon Burks, but
I was never
Marcus Mariota, by the way. The one thing I could say is, this is his big opportunity. He could maybe still gut it out. He's a hand issue and a quad issue. On the other hand, Mariota has already done more than enough to get a job for next year, like a solid backup job, maybe even like a bridge job for a team going nowhere. So he's already got his 2026 money guaranteed, but he knows he might not have that many starts left in his career. So I guess that's a wild card factor at play for the Commanders. But again, they signed Jeff Driscoll on Monday, which is usually a sign they do not expect from the quarterback to play. Is anything else did you get everything out in this game that you wanted to, Denny?
Real quick, Chris Rodriguez had 15 of 24 running back rushing attempts in week 16 against the Eagles. He ran 40% of the routes, but it was Jeremy McNichols who led the backfield with 3 targets. Of course, JCM or Bill or whatever we're calling him scored a touchdown and had eight carries, so he mixed in as well. I think Rodriguez is kind of interesting because somebody's got to touch the ball here. Like, and it's against the Cowboys defense. We know one thing about the Cowboys defense. They are done. Like, they are absolutely checked out. We saw that against the Chargers. C-Rod is live for the fantasy finals, even in 12-team leagues. I totally agree. Yeah.
It's the kind of thing there's so many things this time of year. We're like, dude, it's the fantasy finals. I cannot play Chris Rodriguez Jr. And then you have to then remember, though, okay, that's week 17. One reason I'm here is because I've been adaptable. I've had like plugged in the right guys, and lots of guys are no longer with us in week 17 in fantasy football. They're rehabbing. There's some maybe already in Cancun.
They're alive, but
yeah,
they're
no longer with us in fantasy. That is, and you've got to be willing to. You can't be too proud to play Chris Rodriguez. Let's put it
That's exactly right. Actually, I'm glad you said that. I get on my Friday live chat, I get a lot of people being like, I can't start that guy I've never heard of. Yeah. Like, well, he's a better play than the guy you've been playing, and like he's locked in for 7 PPR points, but nothing more.
You cannot be too proud to play whoever we were just talking about, Chris Rodriguez. Now, listen, you can be too proud to play 9. But 9, I think, is maybe taking the decision out of your hands. The second game on Christmas Day in Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy's Minnesota Vikings hosting the Detroit Lions. The Lions, like pretty much the definition of a gutting loss. I don't think they've been officially eliminated, Denny.
No,
in fact, I know they have not been officially eliminated. And maybe the Packers' injury situation at quarterback kind of helps keep the Lions' hope alive, but game kind of not a whole lot on the line. J.J. McCarthy seems like he will be sidelined. Does the Max Brosmer, deserve a second look? He did a lot better yesterday. A lot better is very strong. He did better yesterday than he did in his start, though. How do we feel for Max Brosmer against the Lions defense that for the second year in a row is really just totally falling apart?
Here's the only thing I have nice to say about the Bras is, okay, in his play against the Giants on Sunday, he had an expected completion rate of 67%. His actual completion rate was 77%. So 10% over. It's pretty good. There's just not a lot to go around here. If he's the quarterback, Justin Jefferson led all Minnesota pass catchers yesterday with 57 air yards. That's just a wildly low number. Like on the Broncos, 57 air yards would have ranked like 4th yesterday. So it's hard. It's going to be hard to start Justin Jefferson in 12-team leagues, if not impossible. I don't think that you can start Jordan Addison either.
You can't start Jordan Addison. You can't start Jalen Naylor. Not that anyone's asking that. I mean, I don't know. Really not going to start Justin Jefferson.
I mean, well, first of all, if you drafted him, you're not in the championship.
I know. Who's stopping this team other than everyone before?
Unless you made the right call and you've been benching them for the last like 12 weeks.
He had 14.5 PPR points, didn't he?
Against the Giants?
Yeah, against the Giants. 6 catches for 85 scoreless yards.
Hey, man, you get some of that wide receiver 3 action. You got it.
I know. He is a wide receiver 3. I think he's still live as a wide receiver 3 is all I would say.
Okay.
It's getting really depleted, really diminished. Like it's getting ugly. Again, the late season injury scene and like effort scene has just never been worse. I wouldn't issue a blanket statement of benching Justin Jefferson, but as you said, not only did you not make the playoffs, you've already been eliminated from the consolation bracket.
Right. You thought you were live for the consolation championship and you immediately were crushed.
These Tony Pollard, Ashton Genty teams are just stunting all over the consolation bracket.
I mean, it should be illegal.
It actually should. I'm mad about like this. There's rules. There's a way you do the consolation. Decorum. Yeah, there's decorum. Was one
we live in a society, and you're telling me you're starting Pollard and Genty.
We do live in a society. So yeah, we're not. We don't know if we're starting Justin Jefferson. Are we starting any Viking skill players? You already basically said no to the pass catchers.
Yeah.
What about Aaron Jones? Who's always hurt, but then always playing. Jordan Mason's the one who actually doesn't finish the game. How do you feel about Aaron Jones against the Detroit Lions?
Good, actually. With Mason out yesterday against the Giants, Jones had 21 carries for 85 yards. He ran a route on 50% of the team's dropbacks. Xavier Scott, who had been annoying with Mason out earlier in the year, only ran 4 routes. Of course, in-game stuff is a little different, and we could see Xavier Scott's season in full effect next week. But I think Aaron Jones is possibly a 20-touch guy here. I think you got to play him somehow.
I think there could be more Xavier Scott than expected for 2 reasons. As you point out, as we always like to say on the show, different when they can actually game plan versus making it up as they go. And just also, like, I don't know, the Vikings now, with not even McCarthy playing, there's not a whole lot to play for. And I could see, I don't know, just in an effort to just keep Max Brosmer alive, like a lot of checkdowns to Xavier Scott. And maybe they want to evaluate Xavier Scott. I don't know.
Here's how to play it. I was just thinking, you're right about that.
And also could be less work than expected for Aaron Jones. He's super banged up. It's a short week. He has nothing to prove. They have nothing to play for.
If I'm in a 12-team PPR league, I need some running back options, I would pick up Xavier Scott and just see how the week unfolds. See if there are some reports about, Aaron Jones is sore after suffering his injury and, he's questionable. He may or may not play. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't play, right?
There's definitely a chance he doesn't play. And I'm sure he could play if he had to. We are firmly into does not have to play. Right. They would probably push him more to play too if JJ McCarthy plays, because they want the real offensive environment as they continue to get film on 9. But
so I feel like in deeper formats, especially, you're going to want Xavier Scott to just kind of plug in there because they play the second game on Christmas.
Yeah, the problem is that it's on Christmas. It does make it a little more.
So here's what you do. You leave your family and then you log on to your team, your fantasy platform of choice, and you plug in Xavier Scott into your second flex.
Xavier Scott, I'd be more interested in that if it was like a Saturday or a Sunday thing. On Thursday, I feel like you should hold out hope that a better option will present itself over the weekend.
I mean, let's be real. Like, if you have like a good team, you're not worried about Xavier Scott. But if you're just scraping by, look, we're all in 14-team leagues. It gets really ugly, like truly hideous in those formats. Like, if I were still in the running for my 14-team leagues, which I'm not, unfortunately, I would be very interested in Xavier Scott.
Real quick, I didn't ask you anything about the Lions because there's just never anything to ask about the Lions. I mean, Isaac Tesla, is he in the 12-team league mix?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, thank God. I can't handle a new character at this point.
No.
It's like the TV show season's about to end. Like, who the hell is this guy?
I know.
You're like, I swear to God, he was in the first and second episode. Like, dude, I'm not paying that close of attention to this.
Right. Did he have a different haircut?
Yeah, like, you think I'm following all this? Like, I'm on my phone for half of this, man. Like, just tell me who this guy is real quick.
So, Tesla ran half the routes yesterday against the Steelers. 20% air yard share, which is not bad. 7 targets. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm looking.
Took a bad time to take a sip of my coffee.
Yeah, that's something. No, but a 12-team, no, you can't play that guy. No.
What's the Twin Peaks coffee reference, Denny? What is?
I mean, there are several.
Is it just that they drink coffee like truly incessantly on the show?
With the main characters, they only drink black coffee.
Okay.
Black as the moonless night sky.
Wow, is that a line from the show?
I don't think I butchered it. I think that's right. Yeah,
it's embarrassing. I haven't watched that yet. I'm going to watch some of that as we take a quick break. I'm going to watch the first 2 episodes of the David Lynch ABC masterpiece, Twin Peaks. We'll be right back after this. This Sunday night, it's a showdown of 2 teams vying for the number 1 seed in the NFC when Caleb Williams and the Bears travel to Northern California for a date with Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. Football Night in America will set the stage for the big battle beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. Man, I hate to admit, because I've admitted online that I like watching the Jaguars. I also love watching the Bears now. I'm into the whole Bears. Like the Bears, like this, and the Jaguars. They're just old-fashioned football teams. Like they are coming out. It's like hard-hitting football. Like it's team football. It's 1 to 53 man. 1 to 46 on game day football. It feels like everyone's contributing. I'm into the Chicago Bears today. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Is Caleb going to be the first Bears quarterback to have over 4,000 yards?
He would be, yes, easily. Yeah, because that was the meme last year that he was going to easily set the franchise record for Pat. I don't know. Is he truly close to getting there? Because I mean, he's throwing way less.
There is a way to know, and I'm going to.
He's not getting there. He's got 3,400. He's not getting 600 yards.
So I mean, let's be real. The reason this can't happen for a Bears quarterback is because they play outdoors.
Yeah, there's no Packers quarterbacks ever thrown for 4,000 yards.
It's different.
No Steelers quarterbacks ever thrown for 4,000.
You know, Chicago weather is different than Green Bay's just cold, whatever. Like Chicago, it's like 75-mile-an-hour winds from October 1st through January 1st.
Chicago does pound for pound for a major North American city, even including like Montreal. I feel like Chicago has to have the worst weather.
Oh,
Montreal's colder, like much colder, actually. Maybe not much colder. The Chicago weather is just, there's a reason people are leaving that town.
And by the way, somebody has got to pay for cutting off the Packers heaters in that game. They cut them off. They cut off.
Did that actually happen?
They cut off the heaters and the bench, the heated bench.
Ben Johnson, I say this admiringly, and I only mean in a football sense. Okay, I don't know anything about his personality. Ben Johnson is evil. Like he's willing to do whatever it takes.
Listen, I don't know who made that call, but somebody made that call. Someone said, "Cut the heat right now" from the Packers sideline. It made me a Packers fan. I was like, oh, let's go. Like
that's old-fashioned ball right there. That is good old-fashioned ball.
Like Matt LaFleur, like you gotta. Oh my gosh, how much fun was Matt LaFleur having with Malik Willis?
I know. I meant to post about that and I forgot.
I mean, Jordan Love goes down. Not funny. Like nobody's celebrating that. Of course, Matt LaFleur wouldn't celebrate that at all. Wouldn't even speak about it really in any kind of way except for seriously. But for Malik Willis to come in and for Matt LaFleur to be like, we're doing the 20% pass rate thing from here on out. He loves that stuff. He's
the meme of the video game player leaning forward in the chair. Like the game actually begins for Matt LaFleur when Malik Willis comes in.
And I noticed online that other people see the same thing happening. They're like, I don't know what happens to LaFleur when Malik Willis comes in the game, but it is an entirely different like mind that's like controlling the Packers offense. Well, and I think that's what he lives for. And it is, because he's a shanty guy.
Say the worst thing that can ever happen to a shanty guy is the quarterback actually being good. And Jordan Love is certifiably good, and he doesn't need the coach to tell him what to do. So it's just like going through the motions for Matt LaFleur. Like, all right, I guess the quarterback's going to, quote, make a play. And like instead, like the play call should be the star, not the play.
Yeah, we're like, all right, Jordan, I guess just do whatever you want then.
Yeah, you really passive aggressively, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna not make the throw that I told you to make, then just call the plays, I guess.
Hey, coach, we won. We're on a huge winning streak. I'm getting MVP talk.
Like, Matt LaFleur is this close to pulling an AJ Brown and just reading on the bench during the game.
Over there preparing plays for the next time Malik Willis gets to play. Chiefs, Broncos, 37.5. Broncos 12.5 point favorites. You can do the math on the Chiefs team total there. The Oladokun ball is not impressing the hashtag bookmakers. They are not looking for it. There's who stops this team? Everyone is what the bookmakers are saying, Denny. And can we start a single Chief not named Rashee Rice? If it's Chris Oladokun, which it certainly appears it's going to be. And what about even Rice if Rashee Rice is back from his concussion on Christmas night?
Can I real quick share some things about Chris Oladokun?
You can.
He's 28 years old. This was his first regular season action in the NFL this past week. His last college season came in 2018. Oladokun was selected in the 7th round by the Steelers in the 2022 draft. He has since bounced around, including.
I guess was that out of like the UFL or XFL or something, Denny? Then
I didn't see any XFL on his Wikipedia page.
How would he go from 2018 to 2022? Sort of my question there would be.
I don't know.
Anyways, keep talking. I'll look.
Yeah, maybe I skimmed a little too much there. I mean, if we're just gonna like drill down to like who can you start for the Chiefs, I think it's Pacheco, and that's it.
You can start Pacheco? A little surprised by that.
Yes.
Now, I'm not surprised. I had been predicting Pacheco would take over the Chiefs backfield because it makes no sense with eliminated from playoff contention to give. So I wasn't surprised that happened. I'm just dubious it'll matter at all in this degraded offense environment.
Okay, so I actually looked at snaps where Oladokun was in for Gardner Minshew, who Minshew did play some. I mean, he threw 9 passes, I think.
He did, but here's the deal. My understanding, I watched this game. Maybe there was an aggravation Minshew, the ACL tear happened on the final play of the first series. And then he played an entire extra quarter. And he could not do anything.
Okay.
And he was limping around to high heaven.
Okay.
He was very visibly playing through a torn ACL, I would say.
So Travis Kelce ran 20 pass routes with Oladokun at quarterback. He saw 2 targets on those 20 pass routes. He had 1 catch. Xavier Worthy ran 21 pass routes with Oladokun under center. He saw 3 targets. Pacheco caught 6 of 7 targets, led the team in targets, was targeted on 35% of his routes by Oladokun. Kareem Hunt ran just 5 routes on the day, and Pacheco led the backfield 8-3 in carries. I just think it makes him very scammy.
Pacheco led in everything. What I will say there, I think this is a classic. The third string quarterback is in. I don't know how to do anything. I'm just going to check it down to the running back. They do now have 4 days to actually game plan. I don't know if the game plan will necessarily be Isiah Pacheco checkdowns. But to your point, Isiah Pacheco is now leading this backfield and will for the final 2 weeks of the season. That's completely clear. And yeah, if you want to flex Isiah Pacheco, I do not think it's insane. I will say that. I do not think it's insane.
Only in PPR, I think.
By the way, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to score a touchdown. Let's be real.
What happened with Oladokun, by the way? It was 2018 was the last time he played big time college football in South Florida. Then he went to the FCS, played for Samford for 2 years, COVID craziness. Then he played at South Dakota State.
The Jackrabbits.
The powerhouse South Dakota State in 2021. So that's what happened with Oladokun. Yeah, Pacheco's ahead on anything with the Broncos, pass catcher rotation. Pat Bryant, unfortunately, injured again. This one, very scary concussion. Seems like he'll be fine, but not for week 16. Excuse me, not for week 17. You
can't expect him to play. I just want to reiterate what we talked about on the Sunday wrap-up podcast. Courtland Sutton, over the past 3 games, 47% of the Broncos' air yards, 27% of the targets. He actually leads the whole league in air yards over the past 3 games.
Wow.
He's a monster right now. He's a monster as far as usage goes. Not efficient. 80 some yards and a touchdown on 12 targets against the Jags. It should have been an explosion game for him. It was not. But anyway, I think you confidently start him. You can throw in Troy Franklin in deeper formats because Pat Bryant will not play. Although Troy Franklin remains a high variance downfield kind of guy, you know that. And then you can't really do anything with Evan Ingram. Even in his revenge game against Jacksonville, he only ran half the routes and was targeted twice.
Evan Ingram, one of my biggest misses of the season. Thankfully, a big miss that came in the very later rounds. But very shocked that he did absolutely nothing this season.
I know all that stuff. Though he's the Joker. He's our Joker. Joke's on us. Turns out.
Damn it, you stole it. It was that was yours to steal too. Your riff.
I appreciate you let me finish it off.
I'm gonna speak over you. The joke's on me.
Joke's on us.
RJ Harvey didn't get many carries because they totally abandoned the run against an elite Jaguars run defense. They were playing from behind, but RJ Harvey, we're loving it, right? There's not any fly in the ointment there.
Nope. You're starting him 40% of the routes, which is normal against the Jaguars, but he's explosive, and so he can turn 12 to 15 touches into a very, very usable fantasy day. The Broncos are going to have insane game script on their side, so you're playing them easily.
Hell yes. Thank you so much, Denny. We just broke down the entire Christmas Day slate for you. We'll be back on Tuesday, 2 days earlier than usual, to break down the rest of the Week 17 slate heading into the fantasy finals, and we'll keep things updated all week on the site, even on Christmas Day, even on Christmas Eve. So no worries there if you're looking for updates. But so for Denny Carter, I'm Patrick Daugherty. We thank you for listening, and we'll be back on Tuesday with our friend Kyle Dvorak.